What's good, Logan? This is coming at you with just a video quickly on how to simplify radicals that are in the denominator, but when you have addition or subtraction. So the focus today is really going to be on if you see something like that, then you're going to use its conjugate. And if you see something like that, then you're going to use its conjugate. So those two guys are conjugates of each other. Let's jump into it. So 5 plus root 3, we're going to multiply that one. So we're looking at question 1 by 5 minus root 3. So that's the conjugate for that one. So we're going to multiply not just the bottom, but also the top by 5 minus root 3. Now, if we want the math to look correct, then, we're going to throw parentheses around it, parentheses there, parentheses, and then kind of do the distributive properties. Over here, multiply by 1, but we know when we multiply anything by 1, that top is just going to be 5 take away root 3, because when you multiply by 1, nothing changes. Now, on the bottom, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening here. So 5 times 5 is 25, and then we've got that 5 times that negative root 3. That's going to give us negative, and a 5 with the root 3. That's right. Not a whole lot of math happening over there, just kind of pushing the numbers together. Plus 5 root 3, right? So plus 5 times that root 3. And then this is the one that's a little tricky. We got root 3 times negative root 3, or negative root 9. Now, some people are immediately canceling that out to 3. That's totally fine. You can do that. All right, so now let's simplify it. We got 5 take away root 3 over, and then 25. This here, oh, there's the beauty of the conjugate. That guy cancels out. So conjugates does get that canceling to happen. And then this, the conjugates also allow the radical to turn into just 3. So I have 25 take away 3, which comes out to 22. Notice there's no denominator radical, right? There's no radical in the denominator. So this is our simplified answer of question 1. Question number 2, think to yourself real quickly, what are you going to multiply by? And if you said 7 plus root 2, you were thinking that, and that's exactly, root 7 plus 2, that is correct. Root 7 plus 2, root 7 plus 2. We're just using the conjugates right now. When you multiply by 1, nothing changes, so we get root 7 plus 2 on the top. That's not going to change. But when we multiply here, the root 7 and the root 7 becomes 7. Sum of it, okay, reason, square root of 49. Right, so doing the math. Now I know when I multiply the 7 and the 2, the root 7 and the 2, I get 2 root 7. But I also know when I multiply the negative 2 and the 7, I get negative 2 root 7. So they cancel out, so I'm not going to write it. There's no reason to. But I also know that when I multiply negative 2 times 2, I get negative 4. Combine that, I'm going to get a 3 in the denominator, and my final answer is going to be square root of 7 plus 2 over 3. And this is our answer to question number 2. So we're just multiplying the denominator by its conjugate. We're multiplying the top and the bottom by the denominator's conjugate. Question number 3, we've got root 2 plus root 6. I'm going to multiply by the conjugate. Think about what you'd write. If you're thinking to yourself, root 2 minus root 6, you're doing some good math right there. So we're going to multiply by the conjugate of root 2 minus root 6. And the math is a little goofy here. So we're going to distribute the 2 to the root 2 and the 2 to the root 6. This is going to give us 2 root 2 minus 2 root 6. So we have 2 root 2 minus 2 root 6. And then we're going to multiply the bottom, root 2 is just root 4. And we all know that square root of 4 is 2. Root 2 times negative root 6 is negative root 12. Root 6 times root 2 is positive root 12. Look at that beauty right there. It's going to cancel out. And then we get positive root 6 and negative root 6 is negative 6. All of this cancels out. Yay! And we get 2 minus 6, which is negative 4. So we have 2 root 2 minus 2 root 6 over negative 4. If you have this as your answer, I'd take it. That's pretty acceptable, right? But I think we can do a little bit more. If we notice they both have a 2 in common, maybe if I left the 2 out and the root 2 minus the root 6, so if I left the 2 out, maybe I could have canceled out the 2 and the 4 that's right there. And that would give us negative root 2. Oops, I don't know if I'm going to write it that way. I'm going to write down 2 answers. I'm going to write down root 2 minus root 6 over negative 2. Or you can take the negative and swing it to the top. Or you can put the negative on the root 2 and on the root 6, which is already negative, so it becomes positive over 2. Either of these answers would be acceptable, as well as the one in orange. All right, if you have any questions, please hit me up on email or talk to me in class tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in class.